By the way, we got sponsored by NDZ. So I really like this Glock 43, but the real problem, drawback with this gun is it really comes down to limitation. You got 6 here, plus 1 in the gun. The differences between these magazines is just that pinky placement right there. Now the benefit of this magazine is it's a little bit easier to conceal. You'll get less imprinting. Although with that lack of grip, you get poor recoil management and you may find it hard to get a purchase on that firearm as you draw for that life or death situation. I would definitely prefer carrying the extended pinky mag, but the only problem with that is that I'm giving up space with no extra ammunition. All right, we're gonna install the first NDZ Performance product. Here we go. So this right here is going to be a plate extension. It's made of aluminum for the Glock 43, it says right there, Glock 43. I'm gonna put that on there and see if that can increase the stability I can get on with that pistol. All right, so first thing I need to do is remove the plate from the old magazine, which is this little push button right here. It pushes the spring into the plate and locks it. Once I push that button in there, I'm going to slide the plate off. A little bit of a dance between pressing down and sliding off. You just gotta pry this guy forward, just a tiny bit there. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They just pop off real easy. You know, they're supposed to be, you can clean them and stuff. Your magazines, when they get dirty, you know, just pop that off. Oh, yeah, okay, got underneath there. Oh, yeah, see how easy it is? This isn't the first time I've ever done this. There we go. All right. And there it is, just a simple little doodly-doo-dah. Pull that off. All right, and there it is. There's our spring. There's our follower. All right, so now we're gonna replace this pad here. This one is solid aluminum, this one's plastic. This one is slightly heavier. This one has a very nice cut in right here, which you can do that with the aluminum because it's a much stronger material. We're gonna have some knurling here, which is going to give us some grip on our pinky. We definitely have a much larger flare out, if you can see that. That's going to give us some more grab with our pinky. There's a lot less material over here than there's on this one. That's going to give us that concealability and lack of print. So here's the magazine right here. Crush down that spring, put the indent guy on there. Take this guy, slide it on. Just Alright, there you go, snaps right into place. There, nice little smooth. There we go. So now to compare that to what we had before, very similar profiles. It's only super slightly longer. So if I set them there on the table there, they're pretty much exactly the same. Alright, so now let's see what we get when we grab this guy. It's got that really cool NDZ decal, that anodized aluminum. Definitely pretty cool looking profile. It's got that same grip angle here, so it should have a same imprint, but let's see. Oh yeah, immediately I realize how much better of a purchase I get. That is incredible. So after installing my magazine floor plate for my Glock 43, I am extremely happy with the results. I especially like how quickly I can draw this pistol now. How fast and how reliable it is for me to get a good purchase on that pistol as I draw it. Increasing my draw speed and with no noticeable difference in the concealability or carrying of this firearm. And most importantly, it looks amazing. So this particular base plate here has no extension, so it's still a 6-round magazine. There's no increase of capacity on this one, but it definitely is an increase on functionality without sacrificing really anything. So moving on to the +2 magazine extension by NDZ Performance. So the magazine capacity on this is 6 rounds. This is going to be a +2, which is going to bring us up to 8 rounds. Yeah, which is 2 less than California legal. But then +1, that gives me 9. So it'll give me a 9 capacity. The only downside to having more rounds is that this magazine will be a little bit longer, which will make it a little bit harder to conceal. We're gonna have to play with that and decide whether I like it or not. I suspect I'm not gonna have a problem with it, but we'll see. All right, so we have our extended base plate there. Here is the improved ghost spring. All right, to take apart a Glock 43 magazine, it is a little bit difficult. What you got to do is you first have to push down on this. Here. You have to get yourself a handy dandy screwdriver. You're going to take that and kind of pry it underneath here. Get a little bit of leverage under there. And it just comes out just like that. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of this lubricant. I've been using this lubricant for almost everything recently. This True Blue from Brother in Arms, this is a fantastic lubricant. All right, while installing this follower, make sure that the high part of that ramp meets up with the high part of your spring there. You don't want to put the spring in backwards. Definitely, see how that works? After much finagling, we've installed the follower onto the end of this ghost spring. It's in there good, well seated. Take that guy, insert that in there. This right here is our floor plate catch. Press that down. Okay. Now this part's a bit precarious. It's very easy for that thing to get turned while flicking, so we're just going to do this fast and see what happens. There we go. All right, so we have 8 bullets in this magazine right now. It was a little precarious getting them in the first go, but usually these things take 2 or 3 dry loads before the spring properly settles. You can see that it's very flush to the gun here and flush back here. We have a little bit of extra knurling. Oh yeah, that's very nice. A lot of controllability. That is going to shoot very easily, very nice. Now obviously we're giving up a little bit of that concealability with that 3/4 of an inch or so of extra butt plate coming out of the bottom there. So I have a very good purchase on that grip. As we can see, all 3 fingers on there. Oh yeah, that's very good. And it locks back to the rear. Magazine comes in and out. Alright, so here we have 2 of the stock magazines from Glock and 2 of the upgraded NDZ Performance magazines. I will definitely say that I am much happier with my NDZ Performance magazines than my stock Glock magazines. The only thing I need to do is put a couple hundred rounds through these guys to make sure that they are reliable, and these are definitely going to be my carry mags from now on. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is change out this little rear plate right here. We're going to change it with this one that says 43 on it, in case I forget that I have a Glock 43. It's very important when taking down your firearms that you make sure that it is unloaded, and then you need to pull the trigger, hit these takedowns, take off your slide here, and we'll take out the spring and barrel, don't need those guys. Alright, so while disassembling, it's important to first push down on this, then push up on your striker. So push down on that guy, and then that'll allow your striker to move up. Once that's up and out of the way, the spring pressure is off. Right behind, right here, there's a little black thing that goes around the striker. We need to apply pressure down on that to keep the pressure off that. And then once the pressure is off that, we go ahead and slide our, that's very important, that we let the pressure off. I'm careful because this little guy will just shoot off into outer space. So NDZ can engrave absolutely anything you'd like on that back plate. Alright, let's go ahead and push this guy down using the cleaning rod. Okay, now it's important that I also push this little guy down here. And then just slide it into place. There we go. Got a nice anodized aluminum plate in there. NDZ can engrave anything you'd like to put on there. As far as functionality goes, well, it's a little tougher than the plastic option. Other than that, it just looks a little cooler. So not only your rear plate, but also your magazine bases, for example, can also be engraved, which is really cool.
Engravings give you no tactical advantage whatsoever. There was some fancy shooting. Pretty good.
Alright, so the magazine release right here is flush to the gun, which is good for concealability, but it is a little difficult to get to, especially for me being left-handed. I tend to operate it with my middle finger. So I'm gonna go ahead and change that guy out to this one right here. All right, to do that, we come in here, and the only thing holding in this piece of plastic right here is this stick right here. This is a spring. It's a little stick spring. All right, so we're gonna push this all the way to the side. If you're right-handed, you're going to push it to the right and pop it out. And there you go, got it. Okay, see here how the spring is now out of the magazine catch? So now I just have to push the magazine release over and out through the hole. Now that the spring is no longer holding it in there, rotate it slightly, pull it out. There we go. So I'm going to pull this spring out of the way, which is actually very convenient to be able to use this extra hole here now that we have that hole. Pull that spring back towards me, the magazine release on the spring. All right, so now that I pulled that spring towards me, hook that magazine release onto the spring, and then go ahead and push that straight through, line it up, and then come back through and place that spring into its notch. Okay, just push that spring over to the right and a little bit forward, and it'll snap right into place. Now, moving over here, and there we go. Got my new improved magazine release. I notice a lot less tension because it was plastic on plastic, and now it's anodized aluminum on plastic. That's a lot smoother. Also, when gripping the pistol in any different configuration, I do not accidentally hit that magazine release, which is very good. So no accidental releases of that magazine. Also with that curvature, it's just very convenient to put my thumb on that magazine release to get that magazine to come out easily. I'm really, really happy with, I was a little worried with that, it's sitting a little proud of the gun, that I would have problems with accidentally discharging my magazine, but that is not at all a problem. The curvature of that does a great job at concealing it in my grip without any incident. What's next, NDZ sponsor? Oh, what is this? Oh, a disassembly tool, or a disassembly lever. The disassembly thingy. Now the problem with this, if you've ever had to disassemble a Glock, it's for cleaning little tiny tabs on either side here with a little bit of knurling in them. What you need to do is first make sure the gun is unloaded. Okay, firearm's completely unloaded. Make sure it's pointed in a safe direction and engage the trigger. All right, now take a little bit of pressure off that gun, pull down on those two little tabs, and pull that slide forward. Now, getting on those two little tabs is not the easiest thing in the world. Many of my students have had a lot of problem with that. So we're gonna go ahead and upgrade this gun just a little bit to make the takedown a little easier, to make my experience with this firearm a little bit more copacetic. All right, some of you guys might be a little intimidated with this process, but in all honesty, it is much easier than you might expect. So what we're gonna do is pull down on both sides, and then just go ahead and feed it through one side. There we go. Make sure nothing flings out at you right here. There we go. Remove that guy. And so we can look at them side by side, and we can see that the bottom flares out just a little bit more, and it is just a little bit wider. A good 32nd of an inch longer, and it flares out at the bottom, making it much easier to pull down. Go ahead and stick that guy in there. But before I get, obviously that spring's in the way, right? So we need to go ahead and press that spring down with my spring press down tool. So after noticing a little bit of corrosion on my galvanized spring there, I went ahead and put a little lubricant on it, cleaned it up. That's gonna make the disassembly of my gun a little bit better as well. And all I did was use the disassembly lever to press down on that spring, and I gently worked it across. There we go. That took, I don't know, about 2 minutes to install. Oh yeah. Trigger, And take a little bit of pressure off that slide, pull down. Wow, that is significantly easier. So now that I've gone through and installed every single NDZ product that we have received from our sponsors, I'm very happy with the subtle effect it has on increasing the effectiveness and usability and aesthetics of my Glock 43. So most of the changes of this gun are definitely pretty subtle, and I really like that. It's not overt. And I look forward to trying this out at the range. We'll report back to you soon. If you like anything you see, make sure that you click on the link below in the description of this video. Our sponsors will greatly appreciate it. Also in the reviews, make sure that you mention that you saw it on What Are You Buying. Shout out to Bravo Concealment for this holster. They gave that to me. I have been trying it out. So far, so good. Alright, so go ahead and report in the comments whether or not you can see that gun. If you would call me out if I was standing in the line at McDonald's. And then I'm just going to go ahead and bend over and tie my shoe. And grab something off of a high shelf. Beep. Woohoo! Alright, I will, I get a really good clean purchase on that gun, and I can draw it very quickly with that extra extension. I am really happy with that. I would say I draw this gun better with my right hand with the extension than my left hand without the extension. That is smooth. So I'm not sure if it'll show a difference in speed on that gun, or if we get a difference in reliability, but I will say my confidence level grabbing this gun with that extension on there is tenfold. I feel a whole lot better being able to purchase on that gun and draw it when I need to. That is a whole lot easier. Wow! I don't even have to try. There's no effort, there's no question. I just grab the gun and it comes out exactly the way I need it to with a full purchase grip. That is just incredible. Very slim profile on that gun. Take it forward a little bit. Let's see. Beautiful. Wow. I love that. Every time it just comes out smooth. I haven't had one flawed draw from my right hand.